So who is leading in the race for president? Well, we still got a primary to get through, but some of the latest polling indicates that President Donald Trump is very much the leader of the Republican field. And if it was a matchup between Trump and Biden, then you would see a pretty close race. Same thing goes for if Trump was not to be the GOP nominee and Ron DeSantis was. If he was to go up against Biden, it also would be a very close race. But you've got the latest data from Noble Predictive Insights and the Center Square Voter Choices poll. You've got former President Donald Trump very much in the lead with 53% of the vote. And Ron DeSantis in a distant second with 18%. Former Vice President Mike Pence sitting at 7%. Vivek Ramaswamy at 6%. And then you've got others, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley at 4%. You've got a whole host of others that are on this list. Will Hurd getting 1%, Chris Christie getting 1%, and others getting absolutely no percent. So I'd love to hear from you on your thoughts on this poll from Noble Predictive Polling. And it's rather fascinating, especially when you hear some of the statements that are made by Democrats and Republicans. But I'd love to hear your thoughts at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. And just to review some of what the Democrats had to say, again, you had U.S. Senator Dick Durbin being asked about Joe Biden's fitness for office, being that he is 80 years old, could be 82 after the election next year. Is he too old? Is he not fit for office? Again, here's Senator Dick Durbin on that question.
The ability to lead for another 4 years after 2024. Is it time for maybe somebody else to step up?
Listen, I watched Joe Biden for years in the Senate when we served together, and I watched him as president. He's still up to the challenge and doing a great job. He's setting records on the economy. He's doing things with the NATO alliance that nobody dreamed would happen after what Trump did to it. The Ukrainians thank him as they should, and I support his effort. He's an international leader and a national leader, and I see no reason not to support him for re-election. I'll be supporting him.
So Durbin is fit to support Biden, regardless of his age. But former state senator Darren Bailey, who ran for governor but was not successful in 2022, he was asked about Biden's fitness and said that, Biden just is not fit to be president of the United States. And he speculates maybe they're going to move him out of the way. Who knows?
Well, to open the door to someone else like a J.B. Pritzker or a Gavin Newsom, I suppose. I don't know. That's speculation. But Joe Biden is completely incompetent. He's destroying. He's an embarrassment. I mean, it hurts me for his sake to watch him during his many flubs on TV. So that's got to stop.
Let's get your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Well, what I'm seeing from both parties is how disconnected they are from the actual voters, that Dick Durbin can say what great records when most of us are struggling. People are looking for other opportunities to make money, to make ends meet. A bottle of ketchup at Walmart is $5. So he's disconnected. But then the Republican Day, which I was at, to have Tony McCoby as the main speaker, and then you also had Marty McLaughlin, both of who voted and will defend their vote to the death for non-citizens to become police officers, just shows the disconnect that's there. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it's on the voter now to get informed about, and realize what you want. And guess what? Like that one lady, said one time, power to the people. Well, it's ours for the taking, but we got to get educated. We got to get active. And this Latina is for Donald Trump.
So if you could, what strategy do you want to see Republicans employ here? Is it the get out the vote efforts and taking advantage of the mail-in and early voting? Is it to go heavy and hard against Democrats and labeling them woke? Is it standing up for a variety of other things like encouraging better business climates? And how do Republicans gain a foothold in Illinois? Because right now, it's a uniparty. Democrats have every statewide elected office, from U.S. Senate to comptroller and treasurer and governor. They have a supermajority in both the state House and the Senate, and they have all but, I think, 3 of Illinois' 17 congressional seats. So how in the world are Republicans going to be able to gain a foothold?
Well, John Tracy alluded to it yesterday, but we're yet to see if it's going to happen. And that's the grassroots. The grassroots in the Republican Party feel beat up because we believe in the Republican Party platform, and the Republican Party put up Richard Irvine, who voted Democrat, who was pro-illegal alien, pro-Black Lives Matter. This is absolutely ridiculous. And then conservative blacks. I lived most of my life in Chicago. Great guys like Eric Wallace, who's a successful black businessman, ran for state rep. Do you think that they backed him? No. And he said, if only the Republican Party had backed me, I could have won. So they give a lot of lip service, and now they're saying they're going with the grassroots. Well, we'll see. But I believe that the grassroots right now in the Republican Party is ready to go around the Republican Party and get their candidates elected if the Republican Party chooses not to support the grassroots and what they want. And the grassroots in Illinois wanted Donald Trump, and Illinois did not work for the man.
So essentially, you're seeming to indicate that you'd like to see the grassroots overpower the establishment party, which you're indicating has failed to deliver for voters.
Absolutely, and we will go around them. We will go around them because we do the work. We've done the work forever, and they've gone in a different direction, and it's time they get behind us. See, they've lost. Their record is utterly dismal. And so it's time to change course and follow the grassroots in the way they want to go.
All right. I appreciate the call, and I want to get more of your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here. We will open up the phone lines for you to sound off on this and so much more. So stay tuned. It's coming up here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. It's now time for a break, but call in or email bishoponair@gmail.com. bishoponair@gmail.com, or find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and you can comment. Taking your phone calls about presidential politics. 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. The latest Voters' Voices poll from the Center Square and Noble Predictive Insights shows that if it was between Trump and Biden, it would be near dead heat. 44% for Biden, 41% for Trump, 15% undecided. And if it was between Ron DeSantis and Biden, Biden would be 43% and 41% for DeSantis. That's within the margin of error. So you got to consider that. But I'd love to hear your thoughts at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. Now, obviously, there's a lot going on when it comes to presidential politics because you've got former President Donald Trump facing 4 indictments, one in the state of New York, one in Washington, D.C., another one that is in Georgia, and what's that fourth one? There's so many I've lost track now. But obviously, you've got Democrats hammering that home, saying, oh, the former president's indicted. He's an extremist. He tried to overthrow the country. He had classified documents when he shouldn't have. He violated campaign finance law by paying off Stormy Daniels. And, I mean, just stacking up, right? But you've got the ongoing questions about President Biden and whether he knew about his son's business dealings where he raked in tens of millions of dollars, and House Republicans investigating that. Congressman Darren LaHood yesterday at the State Fair during Republican Day, he laid out some of his thoughts on how Trump is being treated with all of these indictments and the ongoing questions of electability when it comes to all these ongoing indictments. Here's Congressman LaHood.
You gotta, again, going back to being a prosecutor, you gotta see where the facts and evidence lead you. We've been meticulous over the last 8 months with our committees. Chairman Comer, Chairman Jordan, they're following the evidence and facts. They're doing their subpoena work. They're having evidence. They're doing depositions. Let's see where that leads. When we get back in September, we'll dictate where the facts and evidence go. And by the way, the politicalization of what happened on Trump's impeachment, that was not done that way.
But LaHood also talking about Trump's electability, saying that he's won before.
Listen, he's got a record of winning. Obviously, he ran in 2016. We have a deep field of many candidates running. I think we have the most diverse set of candidates in my history that's running. Everybody from Nikki Haley to Vivek to Mike Pence to Chris Christie to Donald Trump to Ron DeSantis. Deep, diverse field.
But that deep, diverse field, Trump is leading by a lot. So it's going to all come out in the wash.
I'm not going to think about hypotheticals and what can happen. We're gonna have a process. That's what we have. We have a wide open primary. We're going to have a great set of candidates are running. We're going to have a debate next week. We're going to have lots more debates. I think we got a great field of candidates, and I think we'll let the party decide on what direction we go.
Well, I want to hear from you at 217-629-7970. Which direction do you think this is going to go? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, good morning, Greg. First of all, have yourself a great vacation.
Thanks, man. I'm going to enjoy that week off. That's for sure.
I bet you will. Unplug as much as you can. Hey, as far as the Republican, I'm a Republican, and I just want somebody that can actually win a general election. We cannot afford 4 more years of Joe Biden, and this country will not be recognizable if we reelect him. So I guess if I had to pick somebody right now, I really like Tim Scott. I think he's probably more of a VP candidate right now. What I really like about him is that I think he could appeal to black voters, and I think one of the things that Republicans do too much is we concede the black vote. We need to go into those neighborhoods. We need to talk to African Americans and other minorities and say, look, this is why Republican principles are good for you and will help you. And that's what we need to do. We need to stop conceding that vote. And I think a guy like Tim Scott, appeals to a broader cross section of people. And I think when Trump is absolutely unelectable, he's going to be in court more than he's going to be on the campaign trail.
This is going to be wild.
Yeah, it is going to be wild. And, DeSantis, I think DeSantis has really hurt himself with some of the stuff he's pushing down in Florida. So if I had to pick right now, I'd say Tim Scott, but I want to look at it. I want to see, Nikki Haley is somebody I also like. So one of those would be where I'd go right now.
Got you down. But looking at the most recent polling data from the Center Square Voter Voices poll and Noble Predictive Insights, Donald Trump's got 53% of those who were asked about the entire field. Ron DeSantis has 18% of the field. Mike Pence, former vice president, 7%. Vivek Ramaswamy, 6%. Tim Scott and Nikki Haley only have 4%. Let's get more of your calls at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yes, hello, Greg. Sean Gotti
What's
here.
up, man?
Go back to what's going on, man? I'm going back to Double D, Dick Durbin there. It just amazes me to listen to him just gobbling up that bag of Democratic Richards when he's talking about Biden. Like, is he as blind as he sounds? Does he not see the same things that we are seeing with this guy? It's amazing to me how they just turned a blind eye to. It's amazing.
Well, when asked about Biden's fitness, Durbin downplayed it and say that Biden's as fit as ever. when asked about the investigations that House Republicans are doing into whether he knew about his son's business dealings. Here's what Senator Durbin had to say on that front. And, of course, we'll get your reaction to this in just a moment. So let's hear what Senator Durbin had to say about the ongoing investigations that House Republicans are conducting.
Well, I think Chuck Schumer said it best yesterday. The Democrats are interested in investing, and the Republicans are interested in investigating. I think when it gets right down to it, we know what they're doing. They're trying to create a diversion as to what's happening to former President Trump.
And this is wild because 4 or 5 years ago, you had the Republicans saying that it was Democrats only wanting to investigate Trump after Trump after Trump after Trump after Trump, get Trump, and they weren't interested in legislating. And they ended up impeaching Trump twice. So it's kind of fascinating to see these things flip back and forth. But which do you think is more substanceful?
Man, it's there's no words, Greg. There's just no words for it. I struggle to come up with something coherent when it comes to that side of the aisle. I really do.
All right, man. I appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Want to get your thoughts on this, of course, as you've got the latest polling data showing that Trump is the leader of the Republican field. And he's got, 53% of support amongst those who were polled. 53% to Ron DeSantis' distant 18%. And here's the deal with this Noble Predictive Insights poll. Typically, you'll see a poll that is of maybe 1,000 registered voters. Sometimes it's only 700 registered voters. Noble Predictive Insights went and polled 2,500 people, 1,000 Democrats, 1,000 Republicans, 500 independents. And what they found was, of course, with the Republicans answering the question, Donald Trump is the clear leader with 53% in a crowded field. But when you get down to a matchup between Biden and Trump, you had 15% that were unsure, but you look at Biden and Trump, it's practically neck and neck within the margin of error of about 2% or so. 217-629-7970. Your thoughts on all of this. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, good morning. I think over 70% of those polled that are going to vote in the Republican primary are so far leaning towards a MAGA Republican, whether it's DeSantis or Trump or any of the alternates down there. So really a bunch of the neocons or the old dying guard of the Republican Party, they're there with Nick Haley, Christie, Pence, so on and so forth. The popular vote is on the direction they're looking.
Now your phone's breaking up a little bit. The popular votes are what? You're going. Are you going through a tunnel or something? It's try calling back at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Again, 217-629-7970. Well, let's get back to your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. And what do you think about the status of the presidential race right now? Of course, we're well over a year before the November 2024 election, but a lot of people staking their claim on who they want to see be the next president. But we still got a Republican primary to get through, and it looks like, at least according to the most recent poll data, Donald Trump very much is in the lead, and something that I think is going to be difficult for any of the other Republicans to break out and try to eat away at his lead. But I think this is Senator Bailey, who's running for Congress. He kind of spelled out, I think, what a lot of the thoughts about Trump are from those who are ardent supporters of Trump. So here's State Senator Darren Bailey yesterday at the State Fairgrounds.
Again, because President Trump, when he gets elected again, he's going to clean house like he probably should have in his first term. He's going to get rid of it. He knows what the true swamp is. And many people that I've been fighting against, pushing against, many people who are in control here in Illinois are part of that establishment swamp. And I think they're probably fearful of what of their day of reckoning. I truly believe that.
And
awesome. Thanks, guys.
How do you think?
So, your thoughts? Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here, live and local, for you to sound off. And we'll take a look again at the latest polling data from Noble Predictive Insights that spells out that if there was a matchup between Trump and Biden, you'd have Biden 44% and Trump at 41%. But still, a good chunk are undecided. Then if it was DeSantis and Biden would win 43%. DeSantis would win 41%. Still a good chunk that are undecided in all of that. So it's far from decided here. Of course, we've got a lot that's going to be playing out, not just in the Republican primary with Trump facing indictments and possible trials that are going to play out across multiple jurisdictions. You also have the ongoing possible impeachment inquiry of President Joe Biden, and all the evidence that's stacked up there. Are Americans going to get really a presidential election that is played out in the courts and in impeachment proceedings? It seems to be where we're headed, and I don't know if there's any way around that. It's not like people are going to come out and say, "Oh, we're just joking. Everybody's cool. We're good together," and patting each other on the backs, and Republicans and Democrats coming together, and dogs and cats living on the streets. I don't see that happening. It could just further escalate even more so to get even more divisive. And what happens if Trump gets the nomination? And he ultimately is, being on trial and convicted in some of these cases and kept from the ballots in some states. And then Biden gets in. What do you think is going to happen here? So pretty contentious times we're in, and I don't think there's any other way around it. But strap yourself in. It's going to be an interesting ride, no question. I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. bishoponair@gmail.com. Find me on social media. Just search Bishop on Air. You can message us that way. So make it